All right, welcome to another session of Star Trek Navajo, where we last left off with the Navajo. We're picking up from a little bit from an RP session last time, dealing with the aftermath of the three scientists who, well, unfortunately caused the ship to go through a time loop. The Navajo is currently just hours away from rendezvousing at uh, Lysara Station, where they need to complete a trade negotiation. With that, I think we'll start it on the bridge.
Captain will look around the bridge, noting the differences from the last time loop. Look back at see the security officers changed, and just look back at her and say, "Can you please verify that our guest, Miss Luna, is no longer aboard?"
Yes, sir. She is no longer on board. Also, that was a couple hours ago, sir. Last time you checked.
Just want to be sure. With time loops and Q, you can never be too sure.
Understandable,
Mr.
sir.
Sherlock, I trust that uh, you have had maintenance go over holodeck 2 with a fine tooth comb and verify that it's ready for our crew to use again.
It is available for crew to use at their leisure, sir.
Very good. Lieutenant Commander Rye, you have taken appropriate action with our three curious science officers who caused all that.
I've done what I can, sir. Unfortunately, our Lieutenant Junior grade has asked for counsel, so I assume she'll be waiting until court-martial.
Very well. Make sure I get a full report on my desk. I'm going to hold a hearing. I need all that information available at my fingertips.
Captain, security is still conducting their last bits of the investigation. Once it is done, the report will be available for you.
Very good. I've got notification that our XO will not be returning to the ship. Mr. Solak, I'll need you to fill in again as a temporary XO until Starfleet can send me a replacement.
Acknowledged.
And I'd ask you if you guess, but I know you don't like guessing games. Your first task at XO will be to negotiate a trade agreement for Gemulon V colony down on Lysara Station. The two options that we discovered in our previous attempts to do this, neither one of them are the most attractive choices. Let's see if we can expand your search a little, see if there are other options. But if they aren't, as much as I dislike the expense, I'm a little leery of trusting the Ferengi.
Whatever information you can provide me, Captain, for this negotiation, I will accept. In the meantime, I will do research into further analyzing what negotiating options we have available to us.
Excellent. I'll make sure you have a copy of the report I've prepared for temporal investigations. It'll have to the best of my recollection, a copy of all the logs that I've posted through our looping.
Captain, if I may ask this question, based upon the previous time loops, have you conducted these negotiations yourself?
Once or twice. You've done it a couple of times. The XO has done it once or twice.
Do you retain memories of those negotiations?
Mostly. A lot of it is blurring together. Similarities between certain time loops.
I myself have no memory of any negotiations regarding this. This provides an interesting opportunity for us. If you are to conduct these negotiations yourself, you would have the knowledge of previous negotiations that did not happen as a result of the time loop, giving us a distinct advantage.
Fair point. But in the meantime, we have a few hours until we arrive at Lysara Station. Compile me a report of what we should be paying for those supplies at market value and a reasonable markup. And see if you kind of commandeer a member of the crew or two to do some investigation on Lysara Station's property, see if we can find other alternatives.
I will begin that work immediately, sir.
Excellent. Navajo just returned from command school not long ago, and at least in a linear time sense. She's probably more than happy to help you.
Very well. Lieutenant, Lieutenant, if you may.
Aye, Commander.
As she walks by, the captain mutters just to her, "Think of it this way. It's better than having to be BFFs with a chew-like creature."
I happen to agree with you with that, Captain.
So out of character, what the captain's asked for is we have to find information about it regarding the station, and then the supplies that this station needs. We have to look into what the market value is for these supplies, correct?
Correct.
So, you guys kind of did this before, but the
Mhm.
station itself is a trade hub. So, mainly merchants might bring their goods in. It varies from time to time depending on what sort of deal happens between the different traders. Um, it doesn't supply anything from the station, so to speak. There are supposedly several different merchants, but the one you know for sure is the one that you've been dealing with, and that's, or at least, well, the captain, and those who remember the time loop, had been dealing with was Ven.
The Ferengi.
No, he is a Valerian.
Okay. A Valerian. Okay.
And then there's Grak. Grak is the Ferengi.
Lieutenant, do you retain memories of other time loops where you were involved in these trade discussions?
Unfortunately, no, Commander. All of my memories from the time jumps were about the time in engineering and dealing with Cuvaris.
Then we will be starting from scratch, I believe is the term. I can find information regarding the station and what it needs. I recommend that you look for the market value items that need to be traded and determine what their value should actually be.
Understood, Commander. And Vogel will do just that. She'll cross-reference the list of what the colony needs with what she believes a fair trade value would be.
And Solok will get information on the station.
To get like a price based on the list, just give me insight. Let's go with science, difficulty of 1. In terms for the what you know about depends on how you want to go. You want to get general information, or are you wanting to scoop around other sources?
I'm going to scoop around other sources.
Then give me a presence plus command difficulty of 3.
I'll let you go first.
What was my difficulty again?
Insight science difficulty 1.
I will give you a threat. Try to get a little bit of momentum here. I don't think I have a focus. Go. And my untapped. Hey, I get a bonus.
What bonus do you get? Is it bonus momentum or bonus?
Bonus
else?
momentum.
Okay. You can take a threat. I'll roll 3 die. And I don't think I've got any focuses unless you'll accept computers.
No.
Okay.
This is more of
Yeah.
you going through different channels
Yeah.
to get some information.
A little unorthodox. Ah, so close.
It's all right. Get the bad rolls out now.
That was a pretty good roll, actually. It's a difficulty 3.
No, I
Without
meant
a-
like the 18s, 19s. You get
Yeah.
those random ones out now.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything I can do to re-roll that 18.
Does ship assist with anything?
Not for you, no. Not for either of the roles, really.
Okay. Was yours a difficulty 1 or 2? Vogel?
Vogel's was
Mine was 1.
Okay, so yours was successful.
Do you wish to succeed at cost?
Yes.
Commander. I've cross-referenced the goods needed from the Gemulon V colony with the Federation database on the costs of the goods that are needed, and it would appear that the average trade value is around 150 to 180 bars of gold-pressed latinum.
It's always strange and somewhat illogical that a rock is used for trade for such critical items. Thank you for your research. That is helpful. It would seem that based upon my research here that Lysara Station, while not on Starfleet intelligence radar, it is believed that some pirates operate out of it. But Starfleet doesn't have the details on it. That certainly makes things more interesting.
You would think, given our proximity to the sector, that Starfleet would have at least a little intelligence on the area.
According to my information, they do not, but it might not be an area that Starfleet intelligence has it's not an area that Starfleet intelligence is fixated on. What with the rising threat of the Dominion? In any case, I believe we are ready to report our findings to the captain. Captain, we have some additional information to give you for these negotiations.
Oh, hold on a sec. Jim, let me pause because Perrin's been in Starfleet a long time, been a captain for a while. Is it possible for him to try to create a temporary trait that somewhere along during his career he's made friends with a member of the Ferengi trade? Was that the Commerce Authority or? No, I forgot the name of that particular part of the Ferengi culture, like their trade commission that might have information about the players in the area.
You can roll for it. This is going to be a depending on how many points you put into this trait is going to depend on what level of information you're going to get out of it in terms of actual, potential traders here, based on what we'll just say a friend of your Ferengi, Ferengi friend knows. But give me a presence command difficulty 2.
Okay.
Put it this way: the higher the potency of the trait, the more information you're going to be able to get.
All right. After I make the roll, I can add to the potency based on if I pick up any
Yes.
momentum.
Correct.
Okay, then I'm going to swing for the fence here, sort of, and give you 3 threat for 2 extra die.
Give him any more threat, a Borg cube is going to show up.
I don't know, but I'm glad I used threat because I kind of want to reroll.
That roll was magnificent. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Wow.
So don't feel bad. The Akatsuki game was like this yesterday.
It was. I had 20 threat probably by mid-second scene.
Wow.
Just on complications alone, probably.
Wow.
Well, the reroll comes through for me, but apparently my friend at the Ferengi Commerce Authority is not very highly placed. But I'll get to know something, I guess.
Or maybe he was and he's fallen out of favor.
Probably for
Or
having
he lied.
a man as a friend.
Or he just lied.
He didn't have the lobes. You got to say this accurately. He doesn't have the lobes to be in that position.
Okay, yeah, Captain's ready to hear Commander Sullis report now.
I'll let Lieutenant Vogel begin first.
Captain, my preliminary research on the cost of the goods that the Gemulon colony is looking for places the value at around 150 to 180 bars of gold pressed platinum.
That's an interesting estimate, Lieutenant, considering Venn offered to get us that for considerably less than that.
It might be related to that, sir, but apparently Lysara Station, while not on the Starfleet intelligence radar, it is believed that pirates operate out of it, but Starfleet doesn't have additional details on that. That might explain why or how Venn is able to potentially offer these supplies at a discounted price.
Vin said 200.
Oh, did he? I thought he said 100.
Oh.
No, yeah, Vin said 200. He was above quite a bit.
Okay.
Like,
Never mind.
just so you guys
Very,
know,
very much
one-
a Ferengi. Or sorry, not
No.
a Ferengi. Yeah,
he's a Valerian.
Valerian.
The Ferengi offered it for 180. So
That's what you think.
at the peak of that estimate, those are the only two offers you went through.
And then I give you the information that Lysara Station, that there are pirates that operate out of it.
That's good to know. We'll be careful not to do business with folks that obtain goods illegally. Mr. Venn's prices are a little inflated, but he does come with a promise or a guarantee or at least a statement that the manner in which he acquires the goods would be Starfleet friendly. As I believe he said the last time I talked to him.
That would indicate that he had not stolen the items.
And that would be the implication, anyway.
Whereas his Ferengi counterpart was not able to provide such a guarantee?
No, and an old contact of mine with the Ferengi Trade Authority or Ferengi Commerce Authority, his opinion of that particular Ferengi is that he doesn't really have the lobes for that kind of business.
The lobes.
Well, in Ferengi culture, that would equate to a poor business sense or a poor business ability, cast doubt on this Ferengi merchant's ability to acquire the goods we need.
It is a term of speech of their culture, is what you were saying.
Correct.
Understood. Thank you for that clarification, Captain. It would seem that logically there is only one course of action.
Before or after we see what other options are available to us.
I would say that the logical option is to look for additional options.
Well, can't hurt to have more options. Not to mention that the dockmaster gave us the tip. He's probably getting kickbacks from somebody to send us their way.
The amount of character, Lysara Station is not a Federation station, correct?
No.
Yeah, so it's out in the expanse.
Yeah, it's actually technically a Valarian station. It was built by the
Mhm.
Valarians.
Got
So
this is just an independent station. They have their own economy and all that kind of stuff.
Lieutenant Commander Rye, when we get within range, see if you can access the public data nets on Lysaran Station. See if we can identify other locations besides the tavern that the dockmaster is going to suggest when we get there.
The captain was addressing Rye, or
Yeah, we did we lose Ryan?
I'm so sorry, guys. What's going on? What did I miss?
Oh, the captain asked you that once we're arranged to see if you can access the public data net on Lysara Station, see if you can locate us some alternative locales for meeting uh, meeting potential trading partners besides the one that the dockmaster's going to send us to.
All right, Rye will start hacking the Wi-Fi. What do I need to roll for that?
you have to
Or
get
do
to.
I need to roll for that?
Well, you have to get there when you get to Lysara Station. So,
Got it.
do you guys wish to do speed up plot? Is there anything else you wish to look up?
I can't think of anything unless the others can.
Oh, I have something. This probably applies with the bonus I had. As I was looking up that data, was there any known um, trades that happened around this sector that's on that list?
That is a general figure of what you can compound from different trades, not from this sector, but from across, different avenues of Federation space when they deal with independent traders. So,
Okay,
like,
so
some of these figures
it
come
has
from
nothing
the
listed
beta.
from it.
Yeah. Some of it comes from, like, sort of this sector, but closer to Bajor. Some of it comes from other areas. The Bajoran side one's usually a bit higher. If, that sort of answers that question, but generally there hasn't been much in this sector of space.
Cool. I have nothing else then.
All right, then. Well, let's arrive at Lysara Station, or at least within range for Lieutenant Rye to do her thing.
Captain, we're receiving a hail from Lysara Station.
I'm on speaker.
This is Lysara Station. How may I help you?
Lysara Station, this is Captain David Perone of the USS Navajo. We have entered into your system to engage in trade negotiations for one of our newer colonies, and request permission to beam aboard and begin negotiations.
Beaming transport is inoperable at this time, but you can take docking port 42. You're cleared to dock at that location. Do you require anything else?
We do not require anything else at this time, though some directions. We're new to your station, so anything you could tell us about finding trading partners in the area would be useful.
Vin is the biggest trader here at the port. Since you're a Federation vessel, I suggest you talk with him.
It's an interesting association you make. Why would he be your suggestion since we're a Federation vessel?
He is part owner of the station. That's why.
I see, understood. Well, thank you. We'll be docking momentarily. Navajo out. That's new information, yeah.
Interesting that their transport device is not working.
Poor maintenance, not keeping up to Starfleet standards.
That's how it would seem to be, unless it was something else.
Yeah, perhaps we can offer to sweeten our deal with Mr. Venn if we make one to repair their transporters.
An excellent suggestion, Captain. I'm not familiar with the technology on that station, but we could give it an attempt.
Well, the basics don't change much from system to system.
This is
Though
true.
I hear Klingon transporters are quieter than ours.
Klingon transporters, interestingly enough, are much more complicated and require more parts than Federation. However, I think in general, Klingon transporters are quite adequate compared to Federation technology.
I would imagine that much like their physiology, Klingon transporters involve a lot of redundant systems.
Yes, they have backups for backups for backups, alternative power sources, additional buffers. They are very, very thorough in making certain that a transport happen accurately and safely.
It's an important consideration when you do a lot of combat operations.
Indeed.
Commander Rye, you have any luck accessing their public data net?
Do anything or?
Well, what exactly how are you going about accessing it? Are you going through general information that's available to everyone, or are you trying to hack it, get more secure data?
Hmm.
Like, I just need to know, like, what are you trying to do and what are you wanting to pull so I can give you the correct information.
Well, I'm trying to figure out the way to get the best amount of information because my security sucks. So I was gonna see maybe if I could access like an overload of information and using my scientific training of looking for clues for hypothesis and putting pieces together, just sort of come up with like a loose vibe, or like a hunch. Whatever word would, upset Solak the most.
In that case, give me insight command difficulty 2.
Okay, I can do that.
Any ship assist?
No, this is pouring through the public data information. I'm assuming you're just trying to find another place to where you could conduct business at on board the station without going through Ven. Is that what I'm?
Yeah, just as like a backup idea. Yeah. I don't suppose Starfleet protocol will be a focus for this.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I had to try. Okay. I guess I'm gonna give you a threat for a die because I also apparently want a board queue to show up. Okay, that's not bad.
What was the difficulty for that roll?
She passed. Just no momentum gained.
Okay. Okay.
Captain, I am getting bits and pieces. There does seem to be a club, something that's not owned by Vin. Club Rune. They've got really fancy water fountains.
Fancy water fountains, huh? Anything else?
Well, I can't find the actual proprietor, but I can tell you that it's not Vin, so maybe we might be able to find a different source to speak with. At the very least, it'd be somewhere different to go.
Sounds intriguing. Tell you what, why don't you and Lieutenant Vogel head that way? See if you can rustle up some alternative sources. I'll grab I suppose security will make me take an officer with me, so I'll take a one-person security escort and go have another talk with Mr. Venn, and Solak is acting XO. Leave the ship in your capable hands.
Understood, Captain. Should you require engineering to repair their transport device, please contact the ship. We will send someone down.
For a moment, the captain considers saying, "No, I thought I'd subcontract to the Ferengi."
Captain, in the interest of not causing a scene, permission to change into civilian clothing?
Go ahead.
Do you intend to go undercover, Commander?
No, I plan to go exactly as I am.
But Commander Rye, do you plan to go undercover?
Not so much undercover, just not so obvious. If our reaction at the other place was anything, I think it'd probably be best to try to keep a low profile this time.
I would also suggest then that Lieutenant Vogel follow you in that case. If you were to be in civilian clothes and Lieutenant Vogel to be in uniform, that would be counterproductive.
Oh, my apologies. I assumed I was speaking for both of us, but I guess I shouldn't have. Vogel, you have your nice shoes?
I have suitable attire, Commander.
Good luck with your negotiations, Captain. And good luck to the two of you to find an alternative that is a better price than what we are currently being offered by the other two vendors.
Why, Mr.
Thank you,
Solak?
Commander.
Why, Mr. Solak? I didn't believe I didn't know that Vulcans believed in luck.
I don't. It is an expression that you humans seem to find comforting. Therefore, good luck.
Why, thank you, Mr. Solak, but I like to make my own luck. Please notify security to have someone meet me in the transporter or meet me at the airlock.
Acknowledged. Security to airlock to escort the captain to the station. Do you have a security officer in mind, sir?
I'll let the security chief decide who they want to send. Surprise me.
Select sort of cocks his eyebrow, not really understanding that, and then just puts in the request. I guess it'll be Gig Kratanish, the Tellarite.
That's what I need. Polite and diplomatic. Good choice.
Well, I don't know if I could play in two places at once, Captain. Otherwise, we could do my supervisory, but I don't think that would go over very well.
That's what I was thinking of, actually, that character, but I figured you were going to be in a different part of the station.
Well, I mean, we'd be in two separate places, so I don't know how that would work for roles if anything does happen. So that's where I'd, you know.
We might not need to. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, you guys are splitting the party. Two of you are going one, and two of you are going the other way. I don't think.
Yeah.
Unless you want to load up on supporting characters, I mean, you could technically do that, but you have to pick whichever one you're rolling from, and the other character can only assist.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my point was just to let the Solot, the player, choose the security person that they wanted to play as they came down with me.
Yeah, and I'll do gig. Gig is fine. I don't often get to play a teller, right?
We have a lot of Tellarites on this ship.
Which group are we starting with first? As you, well, I'll just put it this way. You get the coordinates to dock at docking port 42 at the station. I'm assuming you expertly pilot. I'll give you a roll for docking. Let's maybe hopefully generate some momentum. Give me a control plus con difficulty of 0, assisted by the ship's engines plus con.
Take the threat so we could try to get some momentum.
Look at our GM being nice. Apparently, because we suck at rolls.
We've had some hard rolls tonight, though.
I haven't hit you with the difficulty 4s yet that the GM kept throwing at me yesterday.
That's because you guys went silent running. I had no choice.
Is that one momentum?
Need 2. It's 2.
That would just need ship. The hardest task for scanning was diff 3 because of the environment, and then you guys made it more difficult by saying you were going silent running, which increases the difficulty again.
I'm just giving him a hard time, guys. It's okay.
We love it.
Engines con.
It's not like you guys weren't flooded with momentum.
We try, you know.
Are you rolling for the ship, Vogel?
I could.
Engines con, I think is what I said.
Oh, do I not have access to the ship sheet?
That would be ironic.
No, never mind. It's wrong side. Oh!
Hey! Engines blow up.
Death and destruction from above. I love it.
Vogel, as you come into dock, it is very smooth. Is that under?
Yeah, it's 11.
You 2 bonus?
Flight controller.
Oh, do you wish to create a trait before I tell you what the complication is?
Oh, well, how about There's some stuff I'm not sure what trait to create for this. Oh, how about I dock us on the side of the ship that would allow for a quicker egress should we need it.
If we gotta get out of here.
I mean, you never know.
Okay. Just write down the trait. As you approach and you hear the docking clamps engage, and indicates it makes a good seal. You notice that there seems to be a malfunction with the internal sensors on that portion of the ship. seems like there was a slight power surge that knocked off the internal sensors right there. So you're not able to figure out who comes aboard the ship or not, or exits.
Captain, we are reading green at the docking seal. However, I've read a fluctuation in the power grid in that docking sector.
Any impact on operations?
Would appear that the internal sensors are down in that sector.
I will send a repair crew to that sector, Captain, to get the internal sensors back online.
Very good. And have security posted guard just until those systems are repaired.
Acknowledged.
All right, and the captain is going to hand the con over to Commander Solak and start heading down to the airlock. Though I'm going to answer the GM's question and let the other two go first, because the player behind the captain needs to step away from the mic for a minute.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Vogel and Rye. I will say this is about roughly half hour after you've docked. Give your characters time to change and wander the station a little bit. As you wander, heading towards the club, you notice that it kind of looks a little bit more run down ish. As you're finding your way, you see several Orions kind of glance at the two of you as you walk by, and you enter the club.
So, have you been on this part of the station before?
Oh no, this is a new location for me.
What do you want? Make it quick. We don't want any fuss around here. Also, seems you humans are a little out of place here. Are you new to the station?
Just arrived, as it were.
No wonder you came here. I have you know this club is exclusive for Orions and some of their crew members. Do you work aboard a Orion ship? Are you perhaps looking for work?
That was Rise typing something. Tech troubles, oh no.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, I could still hear you guys, but my speaker disconnected. Microphone, not speaker. I can speak English. Okay.
Where's the universal translator when we need it?
Exactly? Okay, I'm so sorry, but what did the Orion say?
Exclusive club for Orions and their crew. Why are we here? Why are the humans here? And Forgot the last. Oh, are we looking for work?
Well, what'll it be? I don't got all day.
Just pour something in a glass. We're waiting for somebody.
Waiting. And who might that be?
Absolutely none of your business.
Look, ma'am, it is absolutely my business. You want to drink here, then I gotta know what your business here is so there's no trouble. You understand?
What kind of trouble could we be? We're waiting for somebody. When they get here, we'll leave. It's as simple as that.
Huh. Whatever. Your funeral. And he pours you something green into a cup and hands it to you. Says that'll be 2 slips of latinum.
I slide over 3 slips of latinum.
Huh. Hope you don't have any more on you. Hate to see anything happen to that pretty face of yours.
Oh, so you do think I'm pretty?
Never known a Vulcan to have logic, or not be logical. Are you sure you're Romulan instead? I've seen a few smooth brows before.
I guess you'll just have to wonder.
What about you? Your friend here. She want a drink?
That's fine.
2 slips, and he pours a cup of something green in it.
I hand over another 3 slips.
Enjoy. And he walks back over here, picks up some glasses, and starts, shining them.
I gesture and I sort of lead Vogel over here.
So, your research didn't tell you this was an Orion club? She will say at a whisper.
It said exclusive. I may have not mentioned for whom.
Well, I suppose I have no choice but to trust your instincts.
Look, we're here to get a lay of the land. I want to wait for just a little while, see if we notice anything. On the upside, if it is the Orions, that means I might have seen somebody before who could be involved. One of the many times we were here. Do you think he really thought I was pretty, or was he just saying that?
I believe that there are many who would find you attractive, yes.
I know that we're working, but you need to relax just a little bit.
Sorry, this is very much out of my comfort zone.
I know. This is not something I'm entirely used to myself, but if they see you being nervous, they're going to get suspicious.
So Vogel will just let out a deep breath and look at the drink. So, do you trust it?
Oh, I'm pretty sure the drink will make you go blind if you drink too much of it, but it's something to sip on while we look around.
All right, Vogel will touch the glass to her lips and take a sip.
Constitution saving throw.
I know, right?
Wait,
It's
wrong
not-
game. Man, I want to know what's going on in that back corner over there.
You do hear a lot of cheering. Do both of you drink?
I would like to
Yeah, take-
pretend to drink.
Pretend to drink? Well, if you're pretending to drink, then give me a present security.
And if I'm actually drinking?
Well, no, that you're pretending to drink, and so
Yeah.
that way people don't get noticed.
I did say I was going to touch the glass to my lips and take a sip, so.
It tastes really good. Kind of sweet.
This is actually not bad. Little on the sweet side, but pretty good.
If Vogel says it's fine, I'll actually sip it as well then.
I do have to go mobile, pick up the girlfriend, so I don't know if you want to switch to the other group.
Yeah, we'll do that real quick. Come back here. Captain and Gig. You make it your way to the other bar on the other side of the station where you see Ven in his usual corner from the last several time loops that you've been through here.
Carlos de Gig says, man, this feels familiar somehow.
I didn't know there were so many Orions on this station.
Really? A trade outpost with a possible suspected connections to piracy? Not real
I
surprised.
didn't know about the piracy information, sir.
Don't say that so loudly. You might offend somebody.
I don't
Hey,
care
look, there's an old friend. Let's go say hi.
Following you, sir.
Wander over to Captain Gardner. Just walk right up to him. Captain Garner, it's been a long time since I've seen you. How you and your crew been?
Oi, Captain. Surprised to see you here. I want to thank you. Would you like a drink? It's not the best stuff in the world. It's not like Russian vodka, but it is better than some other joints we've been to.
Well, thank you. I'd appreciate that. How's the ship running these days?
It is fine. It's working quite well now, thank you kindly. Your engineers did quite a miracle on it.
Well,
Mr. Jeeb is trying to do his best doing a Russian accent.
It's amazing.
I've heard worse. You're actually not doing bad.
I almost messed up at the beginning, just FYI. So
We've all heard worse on Star Trek.
nuclear vessels.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get it. No.
I forgot my lines.
Uh,
I
Captain-
had one.
Scoot over. Please, Captain, have a seat.
Thank you. I would say my engineer would be delighted to hear that, but he's Vulcan, so he won't.
I understand. Still, I think Vulcans do appreciate a little good sentiment every now and then. They're not impervious to emotions.
That is true. My engineer, I shouldn't say my Vulcan, but my engineer, he likes baking pies. Never heard of a Vulcan that likes baking pies before, but sure enough, he likes baking pie.
You don't have to do that. They're everywhere.
I figured. But he's kind of he has his head on a swivel, sort of looking around at everybody, giving mean looks to the Nausicaans in particular.
Well, your security officer doesn't need to worry about anything that happened here. I assure you that. Unless this bar fight breaks out. But most people are pretty civil around here. Even the scrupulous
sort of-
ones.
He just sort of grunts at him.
No, that was good to hear. So how's business?
Business is good. Granted, the Cardassians have stopped their endeavors, so it's quite nice, given that whole recent thing.
No, this is true. I imagine, though, that shipments to and from the Bajor system should be, well, with leave from repair supplies and all.
Just surprised this Obsidian Order built so big a massive fleet. With the Romulans, no doubt. It's quite the word around this area.
Well, the Romulans, they're usually very good at looking out for themselves, so if they're pitching in, that means they're worried too.
Cardassians are pretty good at looking out for themselves, too.
I like that guy.
I don't like you either. In fact, I don't like your whole group.
Oh, I thought we were starting to bond there. Nah, too bad.
We are bonding. This is how we bond. Your face is ugly, too.
Watch your tone there, Tellarites. The captain's a good man.
I didn't question his goodness, just said his face is ugly. Your face, I kind of like it.
More insulting words. I love it. And he kind of gives you a little shove.
He shoves it back.
I want to get some more drinks. Do you want one, friend?
I'm on duty. I can't drink.
Ah, that's too bad.
Maybe next time. I think he's related to my second cousin's friend or something like that. He looks familiar.
Your second cousin's friends? That would be your sister?
No, that would just be my sister. Anyway, is this the person we're supposed to do business with, Captain?
No, we helped the captain here out a while back.
Oh?
A little bit of a trouble. We helped him out.
Oh, wait, yeah, this was the group that had the problem with the Cardassians, and we fixed their ship.
Yeah, so you remember.
I was part of that away mission.
Yeah. Do we need to get you in for a physical?
No, he's a human. All humans look alike to me. Except for you, Captain. You stand out, mainly because of the uniform.
I hope I stand out to you. Your job is to keep me safe.
And keeping you safe in this room is making me feel uneasy.
You've only started a bar fight in here 2 or 3 times. We'll be all right.
Captain, here's your
He
drink.
just kind of looks at you. He has no idea what that reference is from.
Carr hands you a
I've never-
drink, Captain, and goes, "Here you go, Captain. On us.
Well, thank you.
See,
And while the
your
player can't
captain
remember
knows
the name-
how to relax a bit. Maybe you should too." He
The
says,
captain can afford to relax. I can't. Especially when my job is to protect the captain.
The captain's Sicilian. He drinks with every meal. Now, the player can't remember the name of the Gardner's ship, but he will raise a glass to it and a blessing and a captain's blessing on his crew. That they may find favorable winds and even more favorable lovers in port.
"Oh yes, to the Sonia Cruz. Here." He raised his glass.
The captain will take an experimental sip just to see what he's been handed. And then if it's mostly inoffensive, he will not be rude and drink it.
I mean, it's alcohol. Just put it that way. Tastes kind of better than the blood wine that you had last.
Oh, that blood wine must have been horrible. The captain will socialize for a few more minutes and then excuse himself as needing to take care of some business.
Good luck, Captain Perone.
Thank you. If I get the opportunity, I'll try to send some business your way. I hear there'll be plenty of shipping contracts out of the Gemulon system soon.
I'll look forward to the business opportunity.
GM, Gig looks at the drink that the captain drank. Is it something that he would recognize?
It's
Like the type of drink that it is?
Probably not. I mean, it's kind of. It's almost similar to beer in a way. It's kind of like an ale type. Really water. It's kind of watered down. So.
Got it. He just takes a sniff of it from the glass and then just kind of goes, ugh.
As they cross the bar, the captain will just look at him quietly and say, it's not blood wine, but he'll do.
The Gig says, it smells like piss from a yak.
Yeah, it tastes a little like it too. As they get about here, Captain will say, he's about to fall off the chair. Catch him.
Gig runs up to try and catch this guy.
He falls in the chair. Why did you have to leave me?
Come on, get up.
Thank you. You're not Car. You might want to move. I think I'm gonna puke.
I'm not. Don't puke on me.
Captain's seen this before, has already moved.
As he kind of stops, he goes, "Oh," and then, I'm okay. Don't worry, I got this. As he comes up and, come on, Max.
Captain will just clap him on the shoulder as his friend helps him. Max, really, she's not worth it. And then we'll sit at the bar to watch Ben. Is Ven still with the person he was with the last time I showed up here?
Yeah. You can see him kind of chit chatting. She whispers something soft, something that you cannot hear or even see her lips move into his ear, and then she gives him a slight kiss on the cheek, and then gets up with a smile and leaves.
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't have to. Captain's thinking, well, now I don't have to sit through that particular Ryan being rude to me again. He will walk up to the guards.
Hope you don't have to kiss him on the cheek.
There are worse places to have to kiss him. Look at the guard and say, "Is Mr. Ven free for business now?"
He looks up and motions, leans over to the table, picks something, puts something in his pipe, and then sort of ignites it a little bit, and as they let you through.
Come and have a seat.
Tell me, what does a Starfleet captain doing here?
Would you believe me if I said socializing and having a good time?
Well, if you are, then I hope you enjoy yourself. This is not usually a sociable area, or merely a trade hub. And cargo for worthy traders that offer esteemed protection.
Protection from what?
Well,
Pirates?
there are pirates out in this area, along with the Breen, and also Cardassians who dare venture this far. Sometimes a Ferengi martyr captain might think this area is his to claim.
Well, the Ferengi aren't much of a problem unless you look vulnerable to them. They're more like vultures than falcons.
Well, don't tell that to the barkeep. So what can I do for you, Captain? I assume you're here on business.
That is an accurate assessment. So, Starfleet wants me to negotiate for the delivery of certain items, commodities for our new colony on Gemulon V. Perhaps you've heard of it.
I have. Word gets around. You had a bit of a nasty business with us in Kethy a month or so ago back.
Well, we managed to work our way through it without having to use photon torpedoes, so I call that a win.
Hmm. So,
My information tells me that you're part owner of this station.
I am.
So, in that role, are you merely a facilitator for shipping, or do you handle some of that business yourself?
I handle trade. If there are supplies you need, I am able to get it for you if that's what you're asking. And just so you know, compared to everyone else in the room here, he is the mostly finely dressed person in this establishment. He has jewelry, nice, shiny, bright clothing on. Despite being a Valerian, usually have long hair, he's bold.
He really reminds me a little of a pointy-eared Yul Brenner. Half expected him to start belting out show tunes from the King and I. Yeah. Brom will lay a pad with the list of supplies he needs on the table. I'm going to guess as a businessman you prefer directness, so there's what the colony needs.
He takes a look at the pad. He takes the pad, takes a look at it, analyzes it for a moment. 200 bars, and I'll have it to you within 6 months.
That's a bit over fair market value for that type of property.
Unfortunately, they're your heavy-duty metals that you need. The durium is quite in high demand and expensive to acquire. Given that the Cardassians recently just ransacked the whole supply of it in this region.
Gentlemen with varied business contacts like yourself certainly wouldn't rely on a single source for an item as important as that.
I do not, and neither do the Cardassians.
And what guarantees and assurances for delivery and the means of how you obtain these products? Well, again, I am negotiating on behalf of the Federation, after all.
There are several mining outposts in this region that I'm able to acquire the items from, and I'm assuming you wish to have these refined into their usable elements. There is a processing fee after all for that.
At least for the first shipment or two, until the colony gets its own refining equipment online.
Hence the 200.
The current market price for those goods, even refined, runs between 150 and 180 bars of gold press latinum.
Yes, but supply and demand, Captain. Not to mention that I would have to, well, let's just say pirate activities increased and I have to hire extra crew to protect your cargo.
True, but the quantities I'm talking about here, a wise businessman would see that the overall price of some of these stocks would go up based on the law of supply and demand. Since you would know the price is going up ahead of time because you'd be acquiring these goods for us, you would stand to make quite a tidy profit on the side just from dealing in futures on these items. just that amount of profit alone justifies you giving me a little better price than what you've offered.
If you must know, Captain, I will be only making 5 bars off of this. My profit margin is slim.
You look far too wealthy for a man who takes slim profit margins.
Call it a future investment, Captain.
We see. Perhaps we could negotiate a little bit. I'm kind of curious when I docked here. They told me that the use of transporters was offline at the moment. Perhaps that's something I could help with for consideration on the price of this deal.
Oh, that is merely for maintenance purposes, Captain. They should be online by the end of the day.
Sure, maybe. But compared to an expert Starfleet engineering crew, how do your maintenance staff stack up?
If you're wondering if I pay my maintenance crews well, I do. You're not the only person I deal trade in. Or, sorry, trade with.
See, well, I'd be honest with you, Mr. Van. It would take quite a bit of doing on my part to get Starfleet to sign off on a deal this far over top market value. I'm going to need you to come down at least 10, 15 bars of latinum on this deal.
If you wish that, then I will have to take some of these items off.
Now, then we'd have to adjust the price again.
Indeed.
Jim, about how long is the Gemulon colony going to need these shipments?
Probably for quite a long time, but your orders are to get him as soon as possible, and he said 6 months. So,
But this will be an ongoing contract. And this 200 is just for a one-time shipment?
for the first, yes.
I would note that this particular colony is going to need regular shipments of these items for a while. Stand to make a little more profit if this were to be a revolving contract.
I would assume your Federation would divert some of this eventually. If you're wanting to make more of a long-term contract, then I suggest you write up what you want for the long term, and then I will come back to you with the price. Prefer to deal with some guarantees here, Captain. After all, this is a lot
Understand.
of This is a lot of materials, and I don't plan on holding the bag of it for long.
Bring your price down to 190, and I'll talk the Federation Council into a 2-year contract. Or
200 is still my offer. I assure you, Captain, I am being most generous.
Very well, Mr. Ben. I appreciate your time. I'll get back to you. I of course, will need to accept other bids from other vendors and talk to my bosses at Starfleet Command to see how far over the market value they're willing to go. But I appreciate your time. I'll get back with you one way or the other, sir.
As you wish. And he nods to his guards.
We will head out, wave wave at our friends in the corner, and I guess we'll head back to the ship to see what Vogel and Rye have come up with.
We're gonna go back over to Vogel and Rye. As the two of you engage in drink, you see an Orion woman come out from the other corner, and you see this guy, the bartender, quickly gather a towel and a drink, and then hand it to her and whisper something into her ear. She gives him a slight nod and walks over and approaches the two of you. I see you two are not from around here. As the two of you in her presence, I need both of you to make a fitness plus medicine difficulty 1 roll.
Is that for both genders now, or is it just?
Oh no, there's a reason for it.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Fitness medicine.
Do you have better than an 11?
No, both of you have to make the roll individually.
No, I know.
I got an 11 too. No,
Okay.
we're fucked.
I'll use a momentum. I just wanted to see if one of us was higher to see if we could potentially make this.
I'm trying. I think I want to use a value on this. Just trying to decide which one would be the best option here, since I don't know what's going on. See, what are my traits? I do have a vigilant trait. Would that help me here at all?
No.
I had to try. All right, here we go.
You're not sure if it's the drink or her, but both of you can feel a slight headache coming on, but for the most part, you feel fine. I am Seirun. I own this establishment. Typically, we don't get individuals such as yourselves here. So, I must ask, what business do you have here?
Well, we're waiting for someone.
Clearly not, dear.
Why would you say that?
No one really comes here to conduct business. Unless it's with me.
Well, since you're the owner, that would make sense. So I guess we're here to meet you.
And what business would you wish to conduct with me? As she takes her,
The
comes around the side, and sits down, setting her drink on the table, crossing her legs, and lounging back. As you notice, Rai, the four Orion men kind of look at her and kind of glance at her and then duck their heads down. She just kind of rolls her eyes a little bit. Now, ladies,
we
what business do you wish to conduct with me?
we are trying to gather resources. We were hoping to find some contacts that could make perhaps a mutually beneficial arrangement.
You wish to conduct a trade deal.
Yes.
And what sort of items you wish to procure?
Where's the list? Where's my list?
For use of my bonus momentum, can I have the list on a data chip?
The player was
Sure.
trying to find a list of stuff, but I couldn't find my notes.
as Rai's like, I have the list here somewhere. And then Dogo's like, oh, I have it right here on this data chip.
Heavy metals, power cells, purification supplies, mining equipment, the usual.
She motions to the barkeep and kind of doing some stuff with their like a hand gesture with one hand. He grabs a data pad and then comes running over, almost bowing to her a little bit, and hands her the pad and runs back off again. Please enter the information here that you need.
I'll reach out and start entering the list on the pad.
Well, I won't be able to get anything. Well, what sort of grade of these items are you looking for? Top of the line? Used, slightly used, broken?
Reasonable.
Reasonable.
Not off the lot, but perhaps recently used. Wouldn't be too bad.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think I can get you some of these medical supplies. They're in quite high demand recently. As for the heavy-duty metals you have on this list, well, the Cardassians bought up the whole kit and caboodle. Well, the Obsidian Order did, at least, building some sort of fleet, I guess. Now I could get you recycled materials from salvage of these heavy duty metals. They're, well, a slight. You could potentially use them to construct ships or build housing and whatnot with it, but I would say just don't get into any firefights with it.
Way to take the fun out of it.
Sorry. I could do that, let's say, minus the medical supplies. 130 bars.
What kind of timetable would be looking at?
2 months.
Would that be to here or to agreed drop-off location?
No, to here.
That sounds fair.
I assume you have a ship that'll be able to take this a quantity. Or did you arrive on that lovely Federation Starfleet vessel?
Hey, you find a free ride, you take it, right?
Of course, dear.
Unfortunately, this sounds like a great deal, and I'll definitely do my best, Sal. I do have to take it to the higher ups, as it were.
Of course. We all have our masters.
Would contacting you here be a good way to get in touch if I can persuade them to go this way?
Yes, you can reach me here, though. If I'm not around, you can leave a message with my barkeep. If there's nothing else, if you excuse me, I have an establishment to run.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. She gets up and walks off.
Once she's out of earshot, I'm going to lean in very carefully to Vogel. We're going to take a minute, take another sip, and then we're going to slowly leave like we planned to all along, okay?
I'll just nod.
We wait a reasonable minute and a half, and then we head out the door. Very casually.
You gotta be back to the ship.
Yeah, I assume that was our rendezvous point.
Okay. At this point, I guess all of you arrive back on board the ship. Were you head to the bridge, or are you wanting to go to the conference room?
I think we should meet in the conference room. We haven't used the conference room map in a while.
Wouldn't be like Star Trek if we didn't.
Right. Lieutenant Commander Rye, report.
We made contact with the owner of Lebrun. It was the Orion. Was it the same Orion woman? No, it wasn't. Was it? Player is confused.
I am not going to answer that question.
There was an Orion woman named. Crap! I am the worst tonight. Laroon?
Seru.
Theru. Sorry. Apologize. She's not able to get the medical supplies, but she's able to get everything else for $130 and then delivered in 2 months. However, I would recommend caution. I wasn't getting the best. Let's just say it probably wouldn't be the most legal acquisitions.
Price is that low, that seems like a fair estimate. That seems awful
Now-
quick for getting that many supplies.
Well, and that's not the only information we got. As we were talking to Seru, she mentioned that the Cardassians had been buying a lot of the heavy metals, namely the Obsidian Order.
It's the captain's turn to raise an eyebrow like Mr. Solak likes to do. That is interesting information. And disturbing.
Very interesting.
A lot of this could be used for building ships.
That would be a logical assumption.
What would Cardassia's intelligence agency need with shipbuilding materials, or colony support materials for that matter?
Shipbuilding support materials would suggest that they are building or augmenting an existing fleet.
To be honest, sir, it sounds like war.
That would be like giving Starfleet intelligence or the Tal Shiar its own ships.
It is my understanding that the Tal Shiar does have its own ships. As for Starfleet intelligence, they do not.
Either way, that sounds like something we need to kick up to Starfleet intelligence.
What were your findings, sir, in acquiring the supplies?
Well, to be honest, despite the number of times I've done this, I don't know exactly how many, I have come up completely empty on negotiating with Mr. Venn as usual. I even tried to suggest we might be able to fix his transporter problem. He didn't bite. We're stuck at 200 bars of gold latinum.
Oh, well, we could do worse. I mean, we'd get it. Wouldn't that be the important part for Starfleet, sir?
We'd get it in 6 months. He does at least come with some guarantees.
6 months is not within the time frame of Starfleet's orders.
I think Starfleet's going to have to do, unless they're willing to compromise on how the items are acquired. I don't think that's something the Federation is willing to do. At least with Mr. Venn, we get at least spoken or contractual agreements that the goods come from legitimate sources and not what we're probably getting from the Ferengi in the bar or your Orion friends. The price point is high, but what Commander Ryan, Lieutenant Vogel uncovered about the Cardassians will explain the inflated prices.
Well, and sir, if I recall, one of the times that this conversation was had with him, he said if we could provide delivery for ourselves, it would lower the price, but then he couldn't guarantee shipping. If he could get it to the place, we have the Sonia Cruise that we could also hire out, or we can try to set up a delivery system that way.
It's another alternative.
There's also the issue that with Cyru's offer, the medical supplies would not be covered. We'd have to seek those elsewhere.
We could acquire the medical supplies through your contact, Captain, and the others from the contact that Rye and Vogel spoke to.
Again, that's assuming the Federation doesn't care about the originating point of the merchandise.
Is there an alternative contact that we could speak to on the station, other than the two that you have spoken to?
Just the Ferengi in the bar. I didn't speak to him this time around. I already know what he's going to offer.
Then it would seem our choices are limited.
Permission to give my opinion, sir?
Go ahead. That's why we have these meetings. In fact, in the future, as long as we're in the conference room, you don't have to ask. Just tell me what you think.
Okay. I think that is my recommendation that we go with Vin. A longer time frame is something we'll just have to deal with for security. And the price, while high, isn't unreasonable. I'd rather ensure quality and sourcing when it comes to our materials for our Starfleet colony than risk something else.
Understood. Vogel, your take?
I would have to agree with Commander Rye's assessment, Captain. It was my understanding that the items that she would not be able to get quickly, she would potentially procure through forceful means.
Understood. To be honest, I have no interest in doing business with pirates. It only encourages them. Your thoughts, Mr. Solar?
I concur with the other officers, Captain.
Then we're in agreement. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna go clear. I'm gonna go clear this deal with command, and then I guess I'm gonna go make a deal with Mr. Venn. Till then, y'all can go ahead and return to your duties. Dismissed.
Sir, actually, permission to go to medical with Vogel. There was some possibly normal reaction to being around the Orion, but I'd still prefer us to get checked out just in case.
Fair enough. Permission granted. Your first time interacting with Orions, Commander?
Last time I wasn't so close.
Well, go ahead and get checked out, and then return to duty. So, remain in command of the bridge until I get done talking to command. And with that, the captain's gonna go to his ready room and contact whoever's issuing the orders on this crazy deal.
Captain Perone. Sorry, Admiral Gibson is quite busy right now. How can I help you?
Well, I've reached a tentative agreement with one of the contractors here on Lysara Station, but it's going to take a little longer and cost a little more than uh, my current budget. I'd like to get the Admiral's stamp of approval before I make the deal.
I see. How much funding are we asking for?
200 bars of gold press latinum. It's going to take 6 months for delivery. The Admiral might
Oh.
be interested in why it's going to cost that much.
You are generally approved for 250 bars. I will pass along why it would take so long. Is there a particular reason? Do you think if you offered more that he might be able to get it sooner?
I can try, but if we ask the contact, particularly considering where we are, to speed up delivery, it may compromise the source. They require him to obtain the materials through less than legitimate means.
I see. Well,
It-
I'm sure the Admiral will say use your best judgment here. He's giving you quite a leeway on this.
Very well. Let the Admiral know he may want to pass on to Starfleet intelligence that the increase in the cost, particularly the heavy metals, according to one of the contact one of my officers made, is that the Obsidian Order is buying up large quantities of those metals themselves.
I see. I will pass that information along.
Very well. Tell the Admiral to have fun with whatever he's doing, and I'll send the signed contracts along as soon as I have them.
Understood, Captain. Lieutenant, if there's anything else, do not hesitate to contact me and I will pass it along to the Admiral.
Thank you much. Thrown out.
And she closes the channel.
And we're going to go back to the bridge and tell Solot that he is going back down to the bar to make a deal with Mr. Venn and ask if anyone wants to come along.
What was Starfleet's response, Captain?
Use my best judgment.
I would think that that was what you would always do.
Right? That makes sense. But sometimes it's
In
good.
any,
Sometimes it's good to get the stamp of approval from your higher ups.
very true. I take it this means you will be heading back down to the planet's surface.
I will.
Will you be requiring security personnel to go with you?
I will unless you want to come along.
I am not security personnel. If you wish me to come along, I will.
I will.
You
I
would
will.
you would
I
have
will.
to use your best judgment with that one.
Well, my best judgment says you're doing a fine job of taking care of my ship while I'm on planet side, and so I'll grab Mr. Gig again. And go see Mr.
Very well,
Venn.
Captain. I will have him ready to greet you at airlock number 4.
Very good. And Captain will start heading for the airlock.
The turbolift door hums as Lieutenant Commander Rye and Lieutenant Vogel take a lovely ride down towards sickbay.
Is there Muzak in
Right.
the elevators for the Navajo?
Always the girl from Iwo Jima. Every time. It's on a loop.
Right. I wanted to apologize for my performance during our fact-finding mission. I feel like I wasn't up to my usual high standards.
You how to explain this? You were a really good Starfleet officer, Vogel. I do worry sometimes that you don't remember that you're also a human being who's allowed to relax and enjoy the moment.
It is one of my failings. My roommate from the academy once said that I have to remind myself that I am a human and also a navigational computer.
Well, that was a bit harsh. Not true either, but mostly harsh.
She said it jokingly, of course.
Although I understand that everyone has preferences. That's all right. If there's things you're not comfortable with and things you won't want to do, that's okay. But as important as it is to do our duty, it's also, despite the commander's preference for logic, sometimes failing is okay too.
I guess I'm not too afraid of failure. I guess what I need is I just need someone to force me out of my comfort zone.
I'm always willing to shove you. Wait, that didn't come out right. Look, sometimes if you want a nudge, I can give you a nudge, but I also want to respect that sometimes nudging isn't okay. So how about this? If I give you a nudge and you tell me no, I'll call it off. But you have to use the word no.
I think that will be an acceptable arrangement.
You really got to start hanging out with people who speak less like Solak. Maybe you should go to dinner with somebody. You should go on a date. Who do you want to go? I can find you somebody. Do you have a preference? Boys, girls, anything?
I'm, a-
You should go on a
I'm,
date.
I'm actually seeing someone.
Oh, my apologies. Congratulations. Who?
We've we've been dating for a few years now.
Oh, so it's not somebody on the ship.
No, we met at the academy, but we've been forceful separation. Different orders, different ships, different missions.
Okay. Then you should go out some friend dates. I know that Erica likes to push boundaries, so maybe she'll be good for you.
She does remind me of my academy roommate. She was always good at forcing me out of my comfort zone, sometimes kicking and screaming.
Don't tell her this because I don't want her to feel bad, but she reminds me a lot of my mother. I like that. I love my mother, but she reminds me a lot of my mother sometimes.
Who's that, Erica?
Yeah.
I do see a lot of similarities between her and Alex, my academy roommate.
And hey, we can still do my training program as long as you're not afraid of heights.
I'm actually looking forward to it. I've never tried it before.
I need to reprogram it for more than one set of rope.
Arrive at sickbay?
Ding. Da 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 da.
Ladies, welcome to sick bay. What can I do for you?
Had an unusual reaction in the field earlier, and just want to make sure that it's within normal parameters of dealing with Orions.
Okay. Why don't you describe the symptoms for me first?
I got a headache.
You got a headache.
Nothing massive, but a low-level pressure headache, and it's kind of still there.
What about you, Vogel?
I'm feeling something similar as well, Doctor.
Okay. What brought on this headache? Was it something that you drank? Was it something that happened? What?
Well, we were within 5 feet of a female Orion. I know that there's a whole pheromone thing, but we were also drinking at the same time, but not much. So I don't think it's. I don't know. I would just like to make sure that we're not gonna die. So
Well, you're not known to die if you're around a female Orion. Their pheromones are strong, but they don't necessarily kill you. Was she the only female Orion that you saw in the vicinity?
yes.
Okay, well, out of character GM, would the doctor know just based upon this that they're fine, or would there be any kind of risk associated with a female Orion giving them a headache?
I will type it out to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, all right. Let me just look at your eyes here. They're not bloodshot as far as I can see. Are you dizzy? Do you feel faint? Do you feel sick?
I don't think so.
Well, you either do or you don't. So do you feel dizzy or do you feel sick? Yes or no?
I don't feel dizzy. I don't feel nauseous. My head hurts.
Your
Like
head
a
hurts.
pressure headache.
Same with you, Vogel?
It is really just the headache.
Just a headache. No other symptoms of any kind. And you didn't feel this headache earlier in the day. You felt it the moment that this female Orion walked right up to you and I'm assuming spoke to you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, out of character, I'm stalling while the GM types stuff for me. Is this your first encounter with an Orion female before?
Yes. Up close and personal, anyway.
You,
My
Vogel?
first time ever meeting an Orion.
Oh.
It was interesting.
What was your impression of the individual?
She was rather impressive, if I admit. Everyone in that club seemed to be wrapped around her finger.
Hmm. Were you jealous of her or anything like that?
I'd say more intrigued.
Hmm.
I'm honestly more likely to hit her with a chair.
Ah, interesting. Well, just so you know, female Orions, when around other non-Orion women, can cause headaches in those non-Orion women, as well as irritation and aggressive feelings towards the Orion. Very common. With heterosexually identified men, a little bit different story. In fact, it's a lot different story. But I would just say that your symptoms are very common when a human and when a Vulcan / Betazoid female come in contact with an Orion female. Anything else I can do for you? Oh, the headache will go away in a few minutes. It'll just in a few hours. It'll linger for a bit. I could give you something for it, but I just tell you that it'll just eventually go away.
Yeah, as long as it's gonna fade and it's not like if we drank a roofie or something, I think we're okay. I just wanted to be sure. I know you'd yell at me if I didn't come to make sure, so.
I am very happy that the two of you reported to sickbay and informed me of this very important information.
Okay, you can be mad if I do show up, or you can be mad if I don't show up, Doc. I really don't think you can do both.
I'm never going to be happy with anything that you do. That's the whole point of being a doctor. I'm always supposed to keep you on your toes. In all seriousness, thank you for coming here and letting me know this. I'm sure the two of you will be fine.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Lieutenant, would you like to go back to the bridge with me?
Gladly. Not sure what she just witnessed.
Ryan and the Doctor have a complicated friendship.
I gathered.
I got that own song stuck in my head. This is...
Girl from Ipanema?
Yes, it's now stuck in my head.
Oh, no.
You only have.
I don't know the
yourself to
song
blame
you're
for that.
talking about, but if it's as catchy
No.
as you say it is, don't let me know.
Don't go
Don't worry.
find it. Save yourself the trouble. It will never leave.
It's a very old song.
Is Gig going or is it Solo going with the captain?
I think it's gig.
Just want to double check.
I mean, he did good this time around. Didn't start any bar fights.
So you're saying that you've experienced this whole thing before, sir?
A number of times, I think.
Like a time loop or something?
Yeah, it was really exciting. You're probably glad you missed it.
And you're saying that I came with you sometimes, and then sometimes I started bar fights?
Yeah, sometimes I brought you. Sometimes I brought Rye. I think I ever brought Vogel down here. Sometimes I brought someone else from security. I kept mixing it up a little.
All right, well, I'll do something that I haven't done before. I won't start any bar fights.
I'd appreciate that. Yeah. All that variety is going to make it all sorts of fun to write my report, Temporal Investigations. Hey, let's go see Mr. Ben.
After you, sir.
He motions to let you pass. The guards let you pass. And, Captain, assume we're coming to some sort of agreement.
I'm sure you're not surprised. I do have a question, though. Is it possible to speed up your timeline without crossing any ethical barriers that would bother Starfleet or the Federation?
Potentially. How do you feel about the bring?
GM, at the current time, are we engaged in any hostilities or difficult tensions with the Breen?
No, but the Breen have always been viewed as a hostile, the Breen usually avoids Starfleet vessels, but particularly Starfleet doesn't want to wish to engage with the Breen, and most contact with the Breen usually ends in hostility. But you're not like at war with them.
We probably prefer not to do business with the Breen. We don't always have the best of interactions with them.
I do have contacts within the Zinkethi. I might be able to procure a shipment from them. Some of their merchants might be willing to deal with me.
I've had decent interaction with the Zenkethi lately. That would be more agreeable, I think, with my masters, as it were.
I might be able to, if my Zenkethi merchants, procure there, might be able to get the items you request. I'm assuming well, this would be for the metals. I'm assuming, since those are the ones
Yes.
that take the longest. Potentially within 4 months, but there would be a much higher fee.
How much higher?
At least 20 bars more. It's 220. Would that be agreeable to you?
As agreeable as long as you can guarantee that there won't be any ethical lines crossed. I'm sure you're aware of what's acceptable and not acceptable to the Federation.
Then I think we're in agreement.
I believe we have a deal. Who wants to write up the paperwork?
He takes a pat of his own and, quickly moves some things around it and then hands you the pen. You may lead to the contract and
And
sign.
Pro will
If
do
you...
that. Unlike the typical American who just signs things, Perone will read the contract.
Insights. Con difficulty of 1. You know what? Just because I have all this threat.
That's fair.
Why?
I was at the complication range to 4.
Woof. All right. Fair enough. We did give you the threat. We take negotiation as a focus.
Yeah.
I knew you being nice would have a downside.
I'm gonna spend the 1 momentum we have, just in case, just for an extra die.
Oh,
I forgot to change the complication range, but it doesn't look like I
Doesn't
ran
matter.
afoul.
Jeez.
great
Okay.
roll.
Well, it was a
There it
difficulty of
is.
1, so you gained 4 momentum.
Woohoo!
Huzzah.
Everything looks in order. Nothing looks out of place. It looks like just a general trade contract. He agrees to supply X amount of materials in X amount of time frame. Failure to deliver on his part, he will cut 10% off of the price for whatever, good. It's kind of as a breakdown of the cost of each individual, item being procured, given that the metals are actually the bulk of the cost of this agreement.
All right. Well, if there are no hidden loopholes or pitfalls in the contract, Perone will sign on behalf of the Federation.
And as you turn to him, he signs his part, and then sticks a data chip in there, hands you the data chip. Here's your copy of the contract, Captain, for yourself and your superiors. And I'm
Thank you,
assuming
Mr.
we
Beck.
are handling the shipment to the your Gemulon 5 colony. Is that correct? Or you be picking it up here?
Believe that you'll be handling the shipment since you're guaranteeing delivery.
Okay, then.
If I use my own shippers, you might not be able to guarantee delivery.
I'll be
Yes?
guaranteed the delivery to here.
Well, at this price, I'd like a guaranteed delivery at its final destination. So I'll let you
Understood.
handle the shipping, Mr. Ben.
Understood. Pleasure doing business with you, Captain.
Likewise,
And for
Mr.
the
Ben.
Federation.
For us, we can do business again in the future.
As do I.
And Prone will make the necessary pleasantries and head back to his ship.
Gives a slight bow with, you see a little smile on his face, and takes his pipe and smokes a little bit. Is there anything else?
Not that I can think of.
With that, I think since this is our usual stopping point, we will end the session here, concluding a deal with shadows.